adventure begins on a Tuesday night. The kids from the loft are ready to fight. 30 years running, we ain't gonna fail. It's another great night for spinning a tale. Our adventure begins with a quick recap, a character sketch and a digital map. Get out our dice and make a roll or two. Raise up our glasses and toast our brew. What game are we playing tonight? What wrongs are we gonna set right? Let's kick some ass and take some names in tonight's incarnation of Dream Slayer's game. Arrive with a vicious attack, a swift blindside that takes us aback. But don't worry though, it'll all be just fine, especially if we all roll 69. What game are we playing tonight? What wrongs are we gonna set right? Let's kick some ass and take some names in tonight's incarnation of Dream Slayer's game. Roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em if you got 'em. Roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em if you got 'em. Roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em if you got 'em.
All right, welcome back everybody to another episode of Marvel Galaxies. Got a lot of news to share this week with Dreamslayer Studios. The Kickstarter project that I've been working on for Everyday Heroes, the Return of the Living Dead cinematic adventure, is fully funded, and as you know by now, I have been heading most of the art chores for the interior of the book. And with the Kickstarter going as well as it has been, I have already been given a plethora of stretch goal art to add to the book. I finished about 3 pieces today, as a matter of fact. So for all of you out there that supported that project, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and I can't wait for this thing to get finished and in your hands. Sales for my self-published books for Everyday Heroes are going very well. Over 115 books sold at this point for Requiem and Cryptids and Urban Legends. Plus, the secret project that I had been working on in conjunction with both of those that was released last week, which is called Vigilante Justice for Everyday Heroes. If you're a fan of Daredevil, Boondock Saints, John Wick, Sin City, Death Wish, anything like that, this is the perfect setting for you in Everyday Heroes. This expansion is for people that really want to get their fists dirty on the streets of an overrun city overrun by gang violence, featuring heroes with a mission to take down crime one goon at a time until they reach the big boss. So head on over to DriveThruRPG for any of those books and pick up your digital copies today. And as always, if you like what we do here, be sure to like and subscribe both on Twitch and on YouTube. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can support the channel over on Patreon because every little bit helps keep the story going. And with that, we'll do a little recap of what happened last time on Marvel Galaxies. The children of the Blindfather proved, once again, that even in the cold vacuum of space, they are not to be trifled with. An unexpected ambush on the back of their Akanti space whale brought them face to face with a pack of ruthless ravagers, led by the blue-skinned, red-finned pirate himself, Yondu. But the Ravagers picked the wrong barnacles to shake loose. The family fended them off in a high-stakes battle among the stars, leaving their would-be captors bruised, beaten, and breathless. Rather than take the long route through Asgard as planned, the children made a bold call. Commandeer the Ravagers' ship, the Welchel, and chart a course directly for sword and shield. Despite Yondu's grumbling, bargaining, and an oddly spirited debate with Clag over the black market base called Nowhere, the Ravager captain was left with little choice. With space whale trauma and dignity barely intact, he set course under their command. Now, 2 days of hyperspace travel later, the Welchel is getting ready to exit hyperspeed and approach sword and shield. As you guys are getting nearer, Yondu kind of speaks up. Larry has been driving pretty much up until this point. And Yondu kind of appears up in the cockpit and he's like, hey, so it's been nice kind of hanging with y'all under the circumstances, but now that we're getting closer, the old Finn's starting to get a little nervous. I mean, you know what I am, you know what I do, and I'm not exactly the best of pals with Nick Fury and his gang. So
no, we don't know that.
Well, you do now, and apparently you weren't listening when I was talking this whole way, but whatever. I really don't want to be here. Let me just put that out there. And I mean, I'm here. I'm with you. We're getting ready to end up within the space of Sword and Shield, and I'd really like to just drop you off and get on my way. They're gonna want us to dock, and the only way for y'all to get off of this ship, unless you got the ability to breathe in space, is for me to dock this thing, or for Ugly over here to take care of it. Here's what I propose. You all just act like this is your ship. They're going to know it's a Ravager ship because, I mean, it is what it looks like. But I hang out here in the ship. You all go on your little merry little way, and then I just quietly just lift off and make a beeline out of here. No harm, no foul. You get what you want. I stay free. All's well and good. We cool with that?
Is Nick Fury going to be meeting us at the dock?
God, I hope not.
Well, how do we know that this is the actual place that he'll be at?
Well, it's Sword and Shield. I mean, I don't know where else he would be unless he's on some sort of away mission or something.
Is there a sign that announces that it's Sword and Shield? Or I just want to be sure that when we step off of here, you haven't taken us to a Ravager's camp or something.
Oh, I mean, trust me, you'll be able to tell once we get there. Sticks out like a sore thumb.
Family, would we like to have an aside?
Let's just tell him that it's going to be fine. And then right as we dock, we just wrap our arm around him and just yank him out with us.
I mean, we could, Griffin, but why?
He did try to kill us.
He did. But didn't we make a deal with him?
We did.
So if we don't honor the deal, are we any better than him?
Clearly, we're us.
Griffin.
What?
Let's be mature.
Clearly, we're us.
This might shock you, but I'm actually going to have to kind of agree with Griffin on this one.
But what if Nick Fury? And you see Larry reach up under the mask and adjust something in his mask, and little butterflies fly away. What if Nick Fury thinks that we are with them
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Larry, something happened to your voice. It's changed.
Actually, I just didn't want to fix my mask to see how long it would annoy any of you. But this is my actual voice.
No, this is way too annoying. You gotta change it back.
No, he's good.
I say again,
Give all of
What
us
if Nick-
500 karma and we'll agree.
Oh wow, look at that.
whoa. Okay, I have to remember that at the end of the game. But again, I say, what if Nick Fury thinks that we are with him?
We are going to be pulling up in a Ravager ship. How are we going to explain that if there's no Ravagers on board?
Well, I would think that if the ship suddenly took off, right after we got off of it, it'd be pretty clear that we were not part of the Ravagers.
Yes, but then we're aiding and abetting a criminal, are we not?
Maybe he was dropping us off, trying to get in their good graces.
Or
Yeah.
maybe one of us should stay on the ship long enough to seem like he overpowered us and took off.
That would work. Plus, it would give us the opportunity to ensure that we are at the right place. And that he's lived up to his end of the bargain. Larry, could you stay with him?
Why, sure. We could tie him up and then just say, as soon as it's all clear, we could leave from there.
Let him go and step off the ship and let him do as Ravagers do. Make terrible decisions.
Fine.
So, are we agreed? Griffin?
Sure, if that's what the family wants.
Do we
My
have a
ways
way?
with more fun.
Do we have a way to communicate, like cell phones, like transponders?
No,
Okay. Do they exist in the universe?
they do.
Is there any on the ship or anything where we could like walkie-talkie back to Larry and let him know, or like, okay, we're good, overpower him and join us, or is one of us gonna have to be like, oh, I forgot my
mean-
keys and run back in?
Usharia is like our family walkie-talkie.
Well, she doesn't have telepathy, I don't think.
Well, I could use my empathy and say, when you feel an overwhelming sense of joy, you'll know that it's clear, and if you feel an overwhelming sense of dread, you'll know it's all a trap.
You could send
My
your.
environmental awareness or empathy. Yeah, empathy. I'm sorry.
Empathy, yeah.
Yeah.
You could just have your little cloney dude watch over him, and then when he takes off, you can, he can disappear.
Oh yeah, Zapole.
Yeah, it's a Paul.
I like that. That would work, right?
Yeah.
mean-
I assume so. Let me just make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You would be leaving Zapole on the ship as though he were a captive of Yondu?
Yeah. Or basically, we just need to make sure that Yondu doesn't fly away until we're at the right place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Why do
we
I
can
really
get
think we're
somebody
overthinking this?
that we're not Ravagers.
I mean, why would a Ravager ship park here, though? Why would it ever come to Sword and Shield? I think we are overthinking this. We'll leave Zapole on there. We will tie up Xanadu. And then when we've left the ship and we're obviously going to be okay and not get arrested or tried or anything, then Zapole can cut the chains and rematerialize out here. And Xanadu can go wherever he wants.
Fine.
Fine.
Okay.
Do we need to now tell him all of that?
Start from the
Um,
beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we should probably play that out. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go through the whole kit and
Yeah.
caboodle, but I mean, if you've told him what you've basically, well, how are you going to approach him with it?
Xanadu.
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Here's what was going to happen. We are going to leave somebody. We are going to tie you up before we get off the
Whoa,
ship.
whoa, 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 wait. No,
Just stop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be tied in the captain's chair, ready to leave. We are going to leave the ship, but one of us will stay behind. As soon as we get the all clear, you'll be released. Live your life. We just need to make sure that we're going to be okay when we step off and not immediately arrested as Ravagers. And we need to make sure that this is the right place that we're supposed to be going. We fully intend to live up to our side of the bargain, but understand we have to protect ourselves.
I don't like the idea of being tied up.
You kind of look like you do.
Okay, well,
Ooh.
from the right person, sure. But none of you are the right person.
Well, it won't be one of us. And then can I have Zapole pop out right behind him?
Sure.
Okay. It's him.
Oh, God. Where'd he come from?
It was a friend of mine.
Uh,
It's that, or we disable the ship and let them come on there and you explain to them why you need to fix it and leave so quickly.
this sounds like a plan that my kid probably would have come up with.
Well, you should have heard the plan my kid came up with. It was terrible. You would have really hated it.
You would have loved it.
All right, well, tell Tin Can over there to take us out of hyperspace. We should be arriving here in just a couple of minutes.
Did you hear that, Larry, or do I need to repeat all of that to you?
No, I heard that. Thank you very much.
You can speak directly to him, you know.
All right.
No, but you were talking to me, so I felt like I should respond by
So-
talking to you.
Is this the way he talks now?
This is the way he's always talked.
This is the way I've always talked.
What do you mean?
You people are nuts.
There might be something wrong with your hearing if you thought he sounded different earlier.
Hit it, Tin Can. And with
That's
that,
robot.
you pull back on the controls of the ship, and the Welchel drops out of hyperspace, and the stars just twist into clarity, and there it is. Sword and shield.
Like a big sign.
Mank,
Sword and
mank,
secret
mank.
base.
Exactly.
Secret base, secret base.
Base.
Authorized personnel only. Totally not.
It's a floating fortress, massive and rapier shaped. It's a space station that's surrounded by like an orbital ring that kind of mimics the hilt of a sword. And it looks like it's been kind of pieced together by wreckage of past battles and derelict cruisers, alien tech. And it spins ever so slightly in the cold grip of the void. Lights flicker along the edge of the hilt, and sunlight glints off of the blade. And as you guys drop out of hyperspace, it doesn't take very long, and a voice crackles over the comms here on the Welchel. Unidentified Ravager vessel. This is Sword and Shield. State your purpose, or be dismantled. Yondu puts his hands up, and he's like, all right. Who's answering that?
Larry, can you fix your voice?
What do you mean? Fix my voice. I can answer this. This is Ravager 1. We are in need of docking. We're traveling with some passengers from another dimension that needs guidance from Nick Fury himself.
Tell them we're harmless.
Thank you.
I'm afraid we're going to need more information than that. You are in...
We really would not like to discuss this over open comm. We request permission to come aboard so that we can discuss this in person.
Should have just said that we stole the Ravager ship and we've got a Ravager prisoner, and that we're ready to bring in a Ravager prisoner to the place where they want to grab Ravager prisoners.
I am opening Bay 13 now.
It worked.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
A security team will meet you at the dock.
We would expect nothing less.
Please do not try anything funny.
Will do.
Seems strange. We're on a clown ship.
I turn to the family and just say, see what happens when you ask nicely?
All right, and
We'll
Larry,
see when we get off the ship.
after he says we're opening Bay 13, you see a door on the side of the space station open up, and you slowly glide the Welchel into the bay. And I'm going to pull you to a scene here. Might take a moment to pull you over.
There's called scenes now.
Ooh.
Oh.
Fancy.
I don't have the ship on there, but this will kind of give you an idea of what it is that you see when you land. When you go in, the bay, the docking bay, is kind of a sprawling hangar lined with scaffolds, glowing fuel lines, and multiple ships of all different types here in this bay. Standing where you're apparently supposed to be pulling in one of the open spaces, there's a group of 6 green-clad guardsmen that are in kind of a greenish and gold full-body armor. And they hold kind of these long, like, energy lances in their hand. And then there's a 7th individual among them that looks different than the rest. Not wearing a full helmet, but some red goggles, and a very dark-skinned man with metal wings, kind of tucked behind him on his back. His outfit is a little bit more kind of black and white with little touches of red all over. As you pull in, Larry, the guardsmen raise their lances and put them in kind of a defensive position at this point in front of their bodies at about a 45-degree angle. And they wait for the door to the Welchel to open.
Looks like they're ready for us. Is that Nick Fury?
I don't know.
No, that ain't Nick. I don't know who that. I don't know
thought you
who
said
that
that Nick
is.
was going to be here. That's the whole reason we
Well,
came.
yeah, he'll be here. I told you he wasn't going to be at the docking bay.
Yeah.
They said it was a security detail. He must be head of security. That's all I could think of.
Are you head of security?
Are you saying that over the comms?
Well, it looks like we're standing right across from
Oh
him.
well, I just pulled you here so you kind of see.
Okay.
What these
Um,
guys look like.
Oh, okay. So we're still like waiting to like open the door and get out
Mhm.
of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like this is definitely a well-secured place. We should introduce ourselves. Ask them to see Nick.
No reason to
Mr.
stay in the
Fury.
ship.
Zapol pops out.
Pops outside.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's
All
got to
right.
stay with Yondu.
Okay, I thought he was already out.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Okay, he's just like hanging out.
All right, Yondu, open the door.
Did you tie him up?
Yeah, he's
I got
tied
that.
in front of him.
I can do this.
Yeah, let the tin can do it. Obviously, I'm a little hindered at the moment. All right, so you pop the door open with a loud hiss. It opens, and you got a ramp that leads down to the docking bay. When the ramp hits the docking bay, the guardsmen kind of form two lines to kind of keep you within them, and the guy with the wings is at the end of the line, waiting to speak to you. As you disembark, the lead guy says, "Well, you're lucky you caught us on a quiet day. What's a band of Ravagers doing asking for Nick Fury?"
Well, we're not Ravagers.
That's a Ravager ship, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Very
Yeah.
much so.
We had to kill a bunch of Ravagers to get it.
All right, then. Who are you?
My name is Lopes.
I'm
This
Larry.
Griffin.
Jace.
Clag.
I'm Thalia.
And Usharia opens her mouth and says something like, "Komtsaichao."
Ooh.
And then, and she doesn't realize it, but all of you are like, "What did she just say?" If you remember, she has that speech dysmorphia that pops up from time to time. And since Christy can't be here tonight, I'm just going to take advantage of that, and she's not going to be able to speak properly.
Hopefully it doesn't stick permanently.
Nice.
Sorry, this is Usharia.
That's what you get.
All right. Sam Wilson. Pleased to meet you. Most people around here call me the Falcon. So you killed a bunch of Ravagers to take their ship?
It's a long story.
Well, we got nothing but time. I need to find out exactly why you're here to speak with Fury. We don't normally just take visitors asking to speak to the big boss.
Understandable. Is there somewhere else we could talk than the open doorway of our ship?
We can head in just a little bit, but not too far.
Thank you.
If it's all right, I'm going to leave one of my men here to inspect your ship.
Well, it's not our ship.
Well, you drove it here, didn't you?
Yes, Larry did. He piloted it.
All right. Well, we just need to make sure there's no stowaways.
Oh.
There is one other person we forgot.
Well,
and I look at Loops and say, maybe it's time to bring him out.
Yes.
That would be the cue.
One moment. And then Zapol, I like do my magic with him to let him know, like, hey, it's time to come out.
After he cuts the straps. So
Yeah. I'm like, okay, you cut the straps, come on out.
All right, Zapol cuts the straps, and then the appears pretty much right next to you.
Yeah.
that kind of takes Sam back just a little bit. He's like, "Is he okay?
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Yes.
We're not gonna have any trouble, right?"
Oh, no, 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 no.
All right. And with
Can I
as
undo a little bit of this Zapole?
Uh-huh.
And I like offer to have him come back into me.
Oh, yeah, gross. And that's exactly what Sam says too. He's like, "Oh, gross."
You get
Does he
used
come
to it.
back in? Does he come back in a particular way? Like, do you have to raise your arm for him to come through your armpit?
Well, and as that's going on, you hear the engines to the Welchel start up, and over the comms, "See you later, suckers!" And he just peels out. If you can peel out a ship, just takes off. And Sam's like, "What? Hold on a second!" And then all of the guardsmen bring their lances up and start pointing them in your direction.
That was our prisoner. We wanted him for you to bring you
Mhm.
as a surprise.
Yeah, listen,
but
you're right. My plan was horrible. Horrible.
Your prisoner? What? Who was that?
some guy named Xanadu, Yandu, something like that. He was a
Yandu
Ravager
Odonta?
that we captured.
You
Yeah,
had
him.
that was
Yeah.
Yandu Odonta.
Mm-hmm. Blue
Son of a bitch.
Funny
mohawk.
hair.
Oh no, yeah, we know who that is. Okay, all right. We got a lot of talking we got to do. Come on, just follow me. And he leads you into the chamber now that you see here on your map.
Okay. On the way,
Um,
I say to Griffin, it appears everything's going to be okay, and we fulfilled our word. There's a lesson to be learned here, son.
I feel like this could have gone so much smoother.
That making deals with criminals is a good thing.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good lesson, Dad. Thanks.
Flag,
Yes.
you're not helping.
Good,
I don't
because
know.
I wasn't trying to.
Well, I, for one, will be able to sleep tonight.
All right, so Sam walks you into the chamber. He's got the guardsmen still with him. They're still a little wary of you, for sure, especially after what just happened. And he stops kind of part way down the hall, and he says, "All right. So, I need a really, really clear picture here of why you're here and why you are so desperate to speak with Commander Fury. Give me the Cliff's Notes,
What are Cliff's Notes?
a short version
A short version of what?
of why you're
everything that
here."
happened.
Our planet got destroyed.
What planet?
New Haven.
Never heard of it.
We get that a lot.
Yes, we're from a planet, New Haven, that was destroyed. It was attacked by Galactus.
Galactus? When?
A little while ago.
It's been about 2 months ago at this
About
point.
2 months ago. Our father sent us to find two family members that we didn't know that we had. Rachel and Nathan Summers.
Our,
Do,
and
hold
our
on.
father is
Hold on.
Scott Summers.
What?
The Blindfather. Our father.
No. What? Scott Summers. That's not possible.
Well, unfortunately, he died in the attack.
Yeah, on Krakoa.
No.
On New Haven.
On New Haven. We were sent to Krakoa, but when our ship came out of, I guess, hyperspace or whatever, Krakoa was destroyed. We landed on Hyboria. We were given the name of Nick Fury by, was it the King of Atlantis?
No, it was Khazar.
Okay, Khazar.
Kevin Plunder was his real name.
Okay. Do we know his real name?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, by Kazar. Kevin Plunder. Are you familiar with the name?
Plunders on Hyboria?
Yes. He said that Nick Fury would be the person that we need to find to help us. We're just trying to find our family members. We're strangers in a strange world. We've spent our entire lives on New Haven. We didn't know of anything else. And now we find ourselves standing in the middle of, it seems to be a pieced together fortress floating through space. We've had a very rough couple of months.
Really hoping this Nick Fury can help us as much as we've been led to believe.
Do you know our father?
Not personally, no. But, I mean, I know his reputation. But, okay, so that's where you're really messing with my head. I mean, you said our father. Not your father, and he points directly at you, Lopes.
No, he's my father. And he's Griffin and Thalia's grandfather.
Wait.
And my sister Yusharia's father is my half-sister. We have different mothers.
How old are you?
I mean, I'd rather not. I don't know, like 60.
I don't.
50.
Yeah, about 60ish. Yeah.
About 60, yeah.
I mean, I don't mean any offense, but okay. So Scott died, or we thought he died, when Krakoa fell 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
We've been on New Haven for a long time.
Yeah, our entire lives. He's been on New Haven for 70 years, at least.
Actually, longer than that.
Well, Larry would know more than any of us. He was there before I was born.
Okay. Well, shit. You're either crazy or you're telling the truth, and I don't know which. Good thing is, we got
I don't think we've heard such word shit before. Can you define that for us, please?
Well, you're about to meet Nick Fury, so I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot of that. And he says to his guardsmen, "Gentlemen, I guess we're going for a walk." And he actually steps forward here onto this platform, and he says, "All right, everybody on." And the guardsmen all step forward onto the platform here, and he invites you all to join as well.
Cozy.
And this whole platform now begins to lift through the station. So as the turbo lift begins to rise through the spine of the sword, you pass like a dozen different floors and see glimpses of the life within the space station. Mutant refugees and hydroponic gardens, Kree technicians, and that means something because you guys had come across the Kree on Hyboria right before Jace went through his metamorphosis. And they're working on power couplings. Alien children of all different types chasing one another through corridors. And you get the feeling that this is more than a base. It's a sanctuary. Eventually, the lift comes to a halt, and you end up in kind of a command center communications hub. It's a sleek chamber of shimmering data streams, holograms, transparent walls showing the stars beyond. And at the center of this room there await quite a bevy of individuals, and it looks like it's still trying to pull you guys there. I don't know why this is going so slow. I've been having trouble with this recently. Is it showing that it's pulling you to the map?
Yeah, I'm at
Yeah,
99.
almost there. 99.
Okay.
I'm in. It's very pretty.
So you see a group of individuals here on this map. And Sam walks in with a couple of the guardsmen kind of following. Two of them come in with the rest of the family, and then they kind of lead you to the center of the room. Directly across from you guys, there are two women. One that is tall, wearing sunglasses, and she has long, flowing green hair. Human woman. Dressed mostly in black leather with kind of a green jumpsuit on underneath. Next to her, dressed completely in black, long black hair, roughly about the same height, is this individual right here. He introduces the two of them first, and he says, over on your right, that's Abigail Brand, second in command of Sword and Shield. And then Maria Hill is our head of security here on the base. You see two individuals, both in wheelchairs, here and here. They're both in kind of hovering wheelchairs. The elder of the two floating around over there, that's Tony Stark, head of technology. And his little kid sidekick is WizKid. Tony has a drink in one hand and is barely paying attention to you guys. And shimmering off to the right of the group, right over here, is a being that looks like he's made out of like computer code. So if you kind of think almost like the Matrix taking solid form, this is kind of what he looks like. He says, and that's the voice that you heard as you all were coming out of hyperspace. That's our AI, the Vision. Abigail, these are the folks that came in on the Ravager ship, and they've got some interesting news to share with you. And by the way, it was Yondu Odanta on that ship. And she was like, do we have him? I wish I could say we did, but he took off the moment these folks all stepped off the ship. Damn it. What were you all doing with Yondu Odanta?
Oh, we were taking his ship.
You were taking his ship? Well, it looks like
To
he's
get
got
here.
it now.
Well, we borrowed it.
You borrowed a Ravager ship.
He attacked us. We overpowered his crew. And then we needed to find Nick Fury, and he said he could take us there in exchange for us allowing him to have his ship back.
You overpowered a Ravager ship?
Well, there were only a couple of them.
Yeah, wasn't really hard.
Huh.
We were on a floating whale.
An Akanti?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
How did you get an Akanti?
Prince Namor gave us one.
Yeah, from Atlantis.
Prince who?
Namor, right?
Yeah, the guy that runs Atlantis. On Hyboria. We were on Hyboria. That's how we got off the planet.
Okay.
And the Ravagers attacked us on the Akante because they wanted the Akante.
And you killed the other Ravagers? Beat the other Ravagers?
Well, we didn't kill them, but they were unconscious, yes.
Where are they now?
Well, I assume they're still on the Akante.
Okay, so why are you here?
We need to speak with Nick Fury.
Right. Why are you here?
Oh.
We need to speak with Nick Fury.
Right.
Griffin.
Why do you need
What?
to speak with Nick Fury?
We're looking for our relatives who we just found out about a couple of months ago, Rachel and Nathan Summers.
She looks over at Tony, who finally looks up from the tablet that he had in front of him, and he was like, Scott Summers' kids? You're related to Scott Summers.
What's our father? My father. And I motion Ishari as her father.
Yeah, no, that's not right. That's different Scott Summers.
Well, we knew him as the Blindfather. Is that different?
That's obviously a different Scott Summers, because nobody ever called him the Blindfather. That guy could definitely see. I mean, he had a visor in front of his face most of the time, but, I mean, he could see just as well as you and me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's him.
Mhm.
It's my dad.
Scott Summers is younger than me. Or was younger than me. He died 2 years ago.
That's what that guy said, and he was wrong too.
Yeah, no, he died about 2 months ago when our planet, we're from New Haven. We were attacked.
New Haven? Never heard of it.
I just look at Clag.
We get that a lot.
He was over 100 years old when he died.
And Tony looks over at Maria, and Maria shrugs, and she was like, I think we better get Nick. And Tony says, all right, your funeral.
There's one thing that we haven't mentioned that might be important. There's this guy, godlike creature named Doom after us.
Yes.
Doom is
And-
after you?
Yeah.
What the hell did you do to piss him off?
Exist.
Well,
we all exist. There's got to be some other reason for him to be after you.
we kind of beat him up.
You beat up Doom?
Well, he started it. But yes, we've had a lot of scuffles in the last couple of months. We had a nice peaceful existence in New Haven. Galactus came in and blew up the planet. We were sent to find, apparently, brethren, Rachel and Nathan Summers, that we just found out about as our father died. We were supposed to go to Krakoa. The planet's been destroyed. We ended up on Hyboria. We met Conan. We met Kevin Plunder. We met. We went to Atlantis.
Plunder's
It's been a whole thing. We ended up on a whale. I'm sorry.
Plunder?
You had a question?
Yeah, Plunder is on Hyboria.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, got a wife and child. Lovely family.
All
Very
right,
gracious.
we thought he was dead.
Well, then it's no surprise that you're confused about Blindfather as well.
Okay.
You have faulty intel.
Hill, go get Fury. On it.
Are we going to have to say all that again?
Yeah,
I think
probably.
so. And I bet you anything, Nick Fury says he's never heard of New Haven.
New Haven.
Yeah. It's almost a running joke at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should tell them we know Kevin Bacon.
Kevin who?
Larry, this is no time to think of food. Although I am a bit hungry.
I could eat.
Everybody knows Kevin Bacon.
And if they don't, they know at least somebody that does.
Does.
Or somebody that does. Or somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that does.
6 degrees, even across dimensions.
All right, well, a few minutes pass, and eventually Maria comes back in with a tall, bald black man that is wearing black leather from head to toe. He, too, wears goggles that are kind of similar to the Falcons, but his are jet black. Give me just a moment, folks. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Do you think these are uniforms that they have on?
I
Or do you
don't
think they
know.
all just have like? Is this just the style of this area? Do you think
Yeah.
they all seem to
Black
be dressed kind
leather.
of the same?
I like it.
They're very intense.
I know.
They
Well,
don't
except
seem
for
to
the
know very
Wizkid.
much either.
It's a shame they don't know about New
Wizkid
Haven.
Wizkid did not get the memo.
I'll tell you what.
They-
It's a shame they
have
didn't
to-
come to New Haven. I think they could use a little bit of R&R.
Sorry about that. My door cracked open for just a moment, and I was like, "And can I help you?" And my son, who tends to drive me nuts, came in to say, "I just wanted to say I love you."
You feel like an
Oh.
asshole.
Yeah.
Was he wearing black leather with some goggles?
Visor.
And a visor?
I
Did he
don't
have
know.
metal wings?
I don't know if I can tell you what he was wearing because it wasn't much.
That's funny.
Okay, so Nick Fury has now entered the building. And he's like, "Well, I understand you all have stirred up a lot of dust. You came here to see Nick Fury. You're looking at him. Hill's filled me in on most everything that you've said. You claim to be the children of Scott Summers.
Yes, from the planet New Haven. You've heard of it?
Never heard of it."
Yeah.
Hey,
Drink.
Jace be like, maybe visual aids will help. Can I try to shape change into the Blindfather? I remember him.
Okay. All right.
Do it, yes.
Yeah. Now, are you changing into the Blindfather that you knew? Or
Yes.
are you trying to mimic like old photographs or anything like that?
Just the one. I mean, I'm gonna try the one I knew first.
Okay.
That'd be the easiest for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to roll anything?
Yeah, go ahead and make your roll.
Okay, karma. So I'm gonna roll my. Sorry, I need to look up here. My shape shifting. Gosh, I did say karma.
Okay. So if you want to get that up to a green,
Yeah.
you come up with a simulation. It's a good resemblance, but it's not dead on.
I'd be like, I'm still learning my powers. Okay.
And Fury kind
Here
of
we go.
cocks.
The nose needs to be a little bit fuller.
I mean, stretching.
Fury kind of cocks his head a little bit, and he's like, "That's an interesting ability you've got there, kid."
Thank you.
But the guy that you're showing me looks like he's probably, I don't know, 75, 80 years old.
Yeah.
He's pretty old.
Mhm.
I mean, my dad's pretty old, and that's my great grandfather or whatever, right? So, I'll try looking at whatever pictures we had of him younger, and I'll be like, let me see if I can try to make myself younger version from pictures.
All right, go ahead and make another roll.
Karma, and please
Please
roll
tell
better.
me you actually turn into like a picture frame in a picture.
And
Yeah.
again with green, I mean, you get a simulation of him. It's not perfect, but I mean, that causes Nick to kind of pull back just a little bit, fold his arms, and he's like, "Huh. Okay, so the Scott Summers that I knew, and yes, I knew him. He was a good man. Would probably be about, at best, 40 years old now. You want to explain to me how you could be his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren?"
Well,
I go, wait a minute. Walk over to Lopes. Go. Did Grandpa pull us into another dimension in a multiverse or something like that?
I mean, is that possible?
Is that why nobody's heard of New Haven?
Maybe. It's got to be something like that, because that, or he doesn't understand that when a man loves a woman and they lay together, they have a baby, and then that baby grows. I don't think he's asking, like, how do you get grandchildren?
My head's gonna pop over his shoulder. Really?
Jace, go turn into a potted plant or something. Be still for a moment.
That Blindfather should be 40, not
It's
100.
impossible. Yeah, he was 40 when I was born.
My helmet thing have a recorder on it.
What if
I don't know. Is it in italics on your sheet?
I think it is actually.
what about, do you think
I-
that power he used to get us off the planet, he could have used to get himself there, and pull himself out of the reality?
So to refresh your memory on that, because I know it's been almost
Mhm.
a year since we started this, there were two things that got you off planet. The first was the ship, which was called Lockheed,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second thing was a Krakoan seed
Okay.
that you had to jettison from the spacecraft and fire a plasma bolt to accelerate the growth rate on it, and then it opened a portal for you.
Do we know that it was called the Krakoan, like that it was a Krakoan seed and all
Yep.
that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what happened.
What's that?
You say that to Nick?
I just say that
Okay.
like to whoever's gonna listen because I
All right.
usually don't.
Yeah. Well, speak up, Thalia.
When did Scott Summers die? 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago when Krakoa fell.
And how old was he when he died?
Probably about 38.
Did you see him dead? Or did he disappear?
Give me a second. Hold on. And he reaches down to the control panel that's in front of him and he says, Hank, are you in the lab? From the other side, where else would I be, Nick? Can you come to the command center? I need you to meet some people. I'm sending you a quick recording of everything that's been said in here, so you'll be up to speed by the time you get here.
You could just tell him again.
And about a minute or two later, you see an individual bound into the room. This guy right here.
Whoa.
Blue fur, dressed in gold and black from head to toe. A humanoid-looking beast. You claim to be the children of Scott Summers?
Yes, from New Haven. Have you heard of it?
Never heard of it.
Drink.
It's like we grew up in a totally different universe from these people.
Mhm.
I think we did.
Well, according to the information that I just sped through on the way here, you're looking for proof of Scott's demise.
He didn't die.
I hope that's true. Scott was a good friend of mine. And he saved all of our kind through his actions. And as he says that, he begins to pull up a hologram for you here in the center of the room. what you see is a sight that is uncomfortably familiar to you. You see Galactus and his heralds, the same ones that invaded New Haven, descending on this green utopia, drawn in by a flare of cosmic energy. This world that you see is filled with all different types of very interesting looking and some mundane looking citizens, mutants. And as Galactus descends with his heralds, you see panic erupt here on this planet. Mutants being loaded into escape pods and versions of Lockheed that brought you to this universe in a last-ditch hope to save the mutant race from destruction. While this is going on, you see Jean Grey, cloaked in the Phoenix Force that you witnessed emerging from the Blindfather on New Haven, erupt into battle alongside a host of X-Men, among them a youthful version of the Blindfather, Scott Summers. One by one, the X-Men fall. Scott and Jean are the last two standing against Galactus and his heralds. Jean takes a powerful blast from Galactus himself and falls. Scott rushes to her aid, but knowing in his heart that her fate is sealed. Scott and Jean share a look. There's only one choice. Holding her in a final embrace, Scott absorbs the power of the Phoenix Force and then engulfs the scene in cosmic flame. And Krakoa explodes. And with that, the hologram ends. And Hank, the Beast, speaks. Galactus came for the Phoenix. Doom sent him. The mutants scattered across the universe. Some didn't make it. Most of us assumed Scott died in the final attack. Obviously, with the destruction of Krakoa, we never found his body. But if what you're telling me is true, if Scott lived, if he fathered children, and you are his children, you, and he points again at Lopes and Usharia, we must be dealing with something else. Where did you come from?
New Haven.
You've probably
Heard of
never
it?
heard of it.
I said that already. And we've mapped out the entire universe, and we know all of the planets, but you're telling me of a planet that we here at Sword and Shield don't know exists.
Because it's not from here.
Also, it doesn't exist anymore.
And
What do
it's
you-
gone.
What do you mean it's not from here?
We're not from this universe, I think.
And he looks over at Nick and he says, Nick, that could explain it. I've always felt something wasn't right. But if there is another universe out there, another dimension, this is big, Nick. If these are the children of Scott Summers, and Scott Summers found a way out of here, there might be hope.
Hope for what?
All of us. Against
Do what?
the tyranny of doom.
Why don't
That
you
he
fight?
found us in the other universe.
Galactus destroyed our planet.
Galactus destroyed your planet?
Yes.
He attacked New Haven.
Nick? And Nick's
never heard of it either.
Nick does speak up. He was like, we lost Galactus's signature about a year ago. We don't know what happened to him, and as far as we were concerned, good riddance.
Well, we knew where he was about 2 months ago.
New Haven.
I've heard of it.
Hank speaks up again. He says, if you don't mind, I would like a chance to study you as a family. It would prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are who you say you are, and then it could open up more conversation between your family and the rest of us here at Sword and Shield. I promise you, it is non-invasive, perhaps a prick of the finger, that is all I would need. But I'm curious to see if you are indeed the children of Scott Summers. What is your makeup? And Usharia begins to speak. And she says, I sing the forest kane. Shava teacher project. And she waits for a response, and all of them look at her, look at each other, and then look at you all, and they were like, what did she say? And Usharia goes, custom.
It's just something that happens sometimes.
And Usharia looks at Thalia, and she grabs you by the shoulders. And she says, she uses her hands, and she points at you.
Okay.
You speak for me. And then she says, tell them about my vision.
Shit. Oh. She had a vision of different worlds connected to a tree. Is that the one we're talking about?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There were different scenes.
And Usharia goes, like ripping and pulling things.
Took them 2 words. Sorry.
And it's like she makes it big, not
Whole.
Not world.
The universe, bigger, universe, everything.
Multiverse.
Fuck. multi.
Yes.
Universe
Got it, charades.
Yeah.
Universes.
Universes.
The multiverse.
Multiverse. Need a script.
I have always theorized that there should be an infinite number of universes, multiverses. But all we have known, all we have been able to discern is this universe, the Doomverse. Do you believe that you are from one of these multiverses? And Usharia goes,
No,
no, destroyed.
destroyed. Sorry. Ours was destroyed.
The multiverse was
Multiverse
destroyed.
was
Yeah.
destroyed. Doom. Something about Doom, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did.
That Doom
He's
pulled
taking,
and
he's
he
taking and
pruned them.
pruning them, so they're no more. Sorry.
They call Doom the creator. That he was here from the beginning of the universe. If you're not from here, you don't know who we are.
Nope.
We here at Sword and Shield are, for lack of a better word, the resistance against Doom and his control of reality itself. Most people believe that we are the creations of Doom, that we are here at his will, and that very well may be the case. But we here at Sword and Shield believe that there should be something more. I and others like me have always believed in the premise of a multiverse. That things here are just not right. They are not what they should be. And if what you're telling us is true, that may very well, my hypothesis may be correct. There's another man that we unfortunately have lost contact with as well that shared this same idea. A man by the name of Hank Pym shares my first name. And Hank, I think, was close at one point at cracking the code. I have to know more. If you would be so kind to accompany me to my lab, all I request is a simple blood sample. I have to know for sure that you are related, at least, to the Scott that I once knew. Would you be willing to do that?
Seems reasonable.
So, if you guys knew Scott Summers so well, you should know Rachel and Nathan Summers, right?
Yes.
Where are they?
I wish I could tell you I knew for sure.
You people are really bad about keeping track of people.
No, but I can send you somewhere that hopefully would have more information, but I can't give you that information unless I know for sure you are who you say you are. I can't take that risk because I would be putting thousands in danger. If
Fine, then.
by some chance you would mean them harm, and I don't believe that you do. I believe what you say, but my science brain has to know for sure.
Fine.
Can I
What do you got to
pull
do to
my
this?
null blade out and like just cut my finger enough so it bleeds? Or is it just gonna like instantly cut it off and cauterize it?
It would probably cauterize it almost instantly, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything sharp around me where I can like?
Yeah, probably something there on the comms. Yeah.
Okay. Can I roll to just go over and like prick my finger?
Oh, you don't have to roll. That's fine. Yeah. So you
All
find
right.
something sharp enough, and you just start sawing your finger, and
I just meant like just enough to get some
No,
blood,
sawing
and
is
I'll
good.
offer it to
That's
be
good.
like, let's move this forward. I don't want to saw my finger off.
Nick just kind of watches you, and he looks over at Hank, and Hank is like, actually, if you don't mind, I'd rather do that in the lab. We prefer not to get blood on the cops.
You would refuse his blood sacrifice? This is
I
a great insult to the
Griffin,
citizens of New
Griffin.
Haven.
I really have nothing to collect in here. I didn't bring my vials with me. And he's kind of looking for something. And he grabs a coffee cup, and he comes over with the coffee cup. He says, "Here, just, does someone have a napkin?"
It's okay. And I squeeze a couple drops out, and
Into the coffee in the coffee cup.
yeah. Can I use my Cyclops powers to cauterize it, or would
Yeah,
it just take
yeah,
my
yeah.
whole finger off? I'm like, it's all right. It's a trick that my father taught me.
That's helping me believe you a little bit more. Please come. If everyone's all right with it, follow me to the lab.
Sure, we'll do the blood sacrifice the way that you want us to. Oh my gosh.
As we're walking there, I'm going to fall back next to Griffin, and I'm going to lean over and whisper to him, "Why did the Blindfather send us to a planet he knew had been destroyed?"
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't there long enough to see it destroyed. Maybe he was transported somehow. Or maybe when he brought the falcony thingy into himself, the phoenix thingy into himself, maybe he was no longer really entirely himself.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it seems like he pulled that power into himself with the intention of destroying the planet.
But maybe he doesn't remember it.
Maybe. Oh well.
All right, so
At
you
least
guys.
it wasn't.
Oh, go ahead.
At least it wasn't New Haven. Heard of it?
I've heard of it.
All right, so you follow Beast to his lab. He's got several assistants in there as well, and he kind of gathers them together, and they all kind of swarm around you as he's kind of telling them, what it is that they're doing, why they're doing it, and so forth. And everyone is kind of curious and excited at the same time, and they all come at you with these little pinpricks and prick your finger, take a little bit of a blood sample, and he says, Hank says, "It will take me a little while to run the tests, but please make yourself at home, and as soon as I have any results, I'll come find you." Falcon kind of came along with you, as did Maria Hill. And so they end up kind of taking you on a little bit of a tour around the station. And as they do so, it kind of will give you guys a little bit more of an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit, both amongst yourselves and to them. You can see Usharia is frustrated because she's not able to communicate, but also anxious, because I think that there are some things that she would probably want to really add to the conversation that she just can't right now.
Is there like a piece of scrap metal? Just do we walk by a piece of scrap metal?
Well, pretty much this whole place is scrap metal.
Okay, I mean something that's loose that I would not be tearing off the wall.
Yeah, you could probably palm something. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take that piece of metal and fabricate a helmet that will translate for Yusharia.
Cool.
Surprise, Christy, you're going to have a helmet on.
You'll build it first, but then I'm also going to have you make a reason feat to see whether or not you can actually do that. Because A, you don't know what language she's speaking.
Yeah, it's just a... Okay.
You're trying a universal transmitter, so in
Yeah.
order to do that, you're going to have a red reason feat to be able to do that.
Oh, wow.
69. 69.
Yeah.
All right, so first is just fabricating it. So
Yes.
we'll do a roll with karma. Or not. Come on.
Well, you rolled twice.
Oh my god.
Your
I'll
first
take the
roll
second
was an
one.
8. No, we'll take the first one because that was.
That's okay. I've got
Because I'm going to make you spend the karma for this.
Yeah, that's all right. So got that, which I'm gonna have to. So 8. Gotta remember that. All right, and then the next one is got to be a red
Yeah, and a straight
For
reason
reason.
feat. Mm-hmm.
for a straight recent feet. Okay, come back.
Okay, you can get that to a red.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good job, Andy.
Now you're
So
gonna
let it flow, Yusharia.
now you're gonna make me play Usharia, which I didn't want to do tonight. Thanks, Andy.
Oh, no problem. I figure you should.
Payback's a
Participate in the
bitch,
fun.
Andy. Remember that.
That's true. That's true.
So Usharia speaks up with her new voice box and says, "I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to communicate properly. I have an affliction, and I'm trying to figure it out so that this doesn't happen on a regular basis. But there is much that I need to share with Commander Fury." And so they kind of reconvene back in the command center with the family, and Usharia begins to basically unfold her entire vision to Fury about her vision of Doom pruning the multiverse to create the universe that we are now currently in. She corrects something that she believes was a misunderstanding. We did not fight Doom. We fought someone called Fulsa Doom on Hyboria. But we did not fight Doom. Usharia, met Doom in her vision. Doom saw her in her astral form. And she could feel his power and could feel the fact that if anyone were to stand against Doom with a snap of the fingers, he could easily eliminate them. But she knows that this universe is not right, that it is the culmination of endless multiverses, that the individuals that stand here in this room are the culmination of many different versions from countless different realities all rolled into one. The thing that is troubling her probably the most is in the multiverses that she was able to witness. She did see individuals that we have spoken about and that some are even here in the room with us. The Phoenix, Jean Grey, she saw a version of Jean Grey in one of her visions. But what she didn't see in any of the visions of any of the multiverses that she witnessed were versions of the Blindfather's family. She believes that all of the multiverses were destroyed, which, if that is the case, we, the Blindfather family, did not come from another universe. But we also did not come from this one. Or perhaps we did and simply didn't know it. But I am a watcher, she says. Or the child of a watcher and the blind father, Scott Summers. And as a watcher, I could feel the universe around me, and it was empty. New Haven, our home, was the only thing I knew. And upon entrance into this universe, the Doom verse, as you call it, I was overwhelmed with the sensation of a universe that was full of life. And now I am overwhelmed by the knowledge that there was something before. And Fury kind of takes all of that in. And he says, I've heard Hank ramble on about this possibility for years now. And he's a smart man, one of the smartest men that I know. And Tony Stark says, hey, I said one of. He's not an asshole like you are. Tony says, touche. But if what you are hypothesizing is true, or what you witnessed is true, then the work that we're doing is not enough. And if you are Scott's children, and as you say, there is only one version of you, then it may not have been Scott that sent you here. It may have been fate. And Tony says, not that you believe in that. He's like, not that I believe in that. But there has to be a reason for you to be here. We just have to figure out what that is. Make yourselves at home. Maria, see if you can get a welcoming party for them and set them up with some rooms, at least for the time being, until we can figure out what we're doing next. We need to give Hank some time to run the tests that he needs to run. And by the way, we lost Fern. He's having some internet issues at home, so hopefully he'll be able to pop back in. So they load you up on the hyperlift and take you to a different wing of the base and show you to some small, quaint living quarters. And there's kind of a common area in there where you can all kind of gather and discuss more things if more things need to be discussed. And if not, then, you know, you can certainly catch some shut-eye if need be.
Well,
I feel like we have things to discuss for sure. But I have a space dog I got to take out real quick. So you talk amongst yourselves and I'll be right back.
I just took my space dog out, so I understand.
It sounds kind of dirty, actually.
I was like, do you need to be
Keep
telling
my
us that?
space dog out.
No.
Yeah, you just keep that to yourself there, Mike.
Well, I'm wandering the ship. I don't know what anyone else is doing. Bye.
I'll go with you.
Alrighty.
I will too. Let's explore.
That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, so if you
Looking
go
for
out and
butterflies.
explore, there are
I'm staying here. I'm not exploring.
there are many levels here on the station that are off limits to you. You have to have a certain security code or pass to be able to reach some of the floors. But some of the floors that you guys did pass on your way up to the communications hub are accessible. And a lot of these are some of the living quarters and so forth for the refugees, essentially, that have been brought here to the ship. I mentioned at one point that there was kind of a what did I call it? Give me a second here. Hydroponic gardens. Where you saw some children kind of running around, and you kind of find that area here on the station, and there are families there having picnic lunches and kids running around and so forth, and they all, as you walk out, they all kind of spot you and give you friendly waves. They all seem very personable and friendly. So if there's anybody there that you would want to talk to, you certainly can.
Yeah, I'm gonna wave. Maybe I see a girl about my age or a boy about my age. I'm gonna go talk to him.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's two kids that are kind of hanging out underneath a tree here in the garden that are just kind of, one of them's kind of sitting underneath the shade of the tree, a girl that's about 15, 16 years old, and then an older boy, maybe about 17. That is kind of there. There's a little flirtatious kind of thing going on, but the girl kind of saw you and kind of waved, and they don't back off at your approach. And the girl says, "You're new here."
Yeah, we just came on board. I'm Athalia. This is my little cousin Jace. He's just this big dude.
Hello.
I'm Shavara, and this is Thane.
Where are you from?
Originally, we were from a place called Krakoa. You've heard of it?
Yeah, heard of it.
Yeah, we've been here for about 2 years now after Krakoa blew up.
What do you do on this ship?
Well,
You
we're
play? You go to school?
yeah, they've got school here. We've learned quite a bit about the universe and everything else that's out there. It's boring, but it's kind of what we got to do. But the good thing is we're old enough now where we can kind of take some responsibility, and we have little jobs. I actually work here in the garden, and I kind of you know work with the hydroponics and kind of keep everything living. Thane works in engineering. He likes to build stuff.
We had a lot of gardens in our home, but
Oh,
not like the
yeah. Well,
under the sky.
I mean, it's nice, but it's not like being under a real sky.
Mm. Do you ever climb the trees?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna jump and grab the lowest branch and haul myself up and just start climbing it. It's been a while.
Shavara walks up the tree.
Cool.
I'm like, nice. I'm gonna like extend my arms out, reach up, and pull myself up.
Oh, that's cool. Are you a mutant too?
Something like that. Like, yeah.
He's annoying. That's what he is,
Oh, so this is your brother then.
basically.
Uh-huh.
But he's bigger than me, so so I'm nice to him.
So how's your powers work? You just like walk on stuff? Do you stick on it, or you like controlling gravity? How's that work?
Yeah, it's a gravity thing, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I really, really think about it hard, and she closes her eyes and kind of squints, and then you see her raise up off of the branch just a little bit. And she's like, I can't hold it for really long. And then she pops back down, and she's like, but I'm learning. I'm getting better at it.
Cool.
Just started to be able to do this like last year. So I'm kind of happy that I had the powers passed down.
I've only had my powers for a month. Has it been a month?
Yeah, maybe about a
I
month.
think so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. So you're just learning too, huh?
Yep. Just learning.
Mhm.
Why don't you show them what you can do, Thalia? Come on.
Are there any fruit trees nearby?
Yeah.
Or I don't know what kind of tree we're in.
It is a tall, massive oak tree.
Like an oak tree. Okay. So I spot some apples a
Mm-hmm.
little ways away. I'm gonna try and like pluck them and have them like kinetic, or would it be telekinesis? Would be telekinetic.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You roll for that?
Yeah. Since you're showing off.
Yeah, I am showing up. Just don't set them on fire. I did not. Say karma.
Yeah. All
I
right.
said don't.
Okay. So
Should
you,
say karma.
you reach out and an apple falls off the tree. and she's like,
Embarrassing.
"Oh, that's pretty cool. You're just
Works
learning
when
too."
it needs to.
Huh?
Climb up a couple more branches. Bears.
Larry, you said you were going to.
Yep.
What do you do?
I stopped at the door that said restricted.
Mhm.
I'm gonna fiddle with the keypad, see if I can get in.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a roll for that. That you could probably use your molding for that.
Karma.
74.
My rolls are really slow.
All right, so you kind of fiddle with the panel just a little bit, and then the door opens up, and you take one step in, and your heart just starts to beat faster and faster, and you're like, "Oh, I've dreamed of a place like this." And you've walked into the engineering level. And there are technicians in lab coats all over the place here, just kind of furiously working on different projects, not even looking up to see you come in. Nobody's really paying attention. But I mean, all of the tools, all of the equipment, all of the bits and pieces of mechanics and metal and wood and whatever it is, you just want to touch it.
Can I go over to somebody who's working on something? Can I discern what he's trying to do?
It looks like he is building probably like a breathing apparatus that would be like a full helmet type thing that would actually be like space worthy. And
Can I
it
can I like reach out and just kind of motion for him to give it to me?
you kind of appear in his peripheral, and he kind of looks up for a second, then he looks again, and he's like, "What? How did you get in here?"
The door?
Well, you're not authorized
It-
to be in here. Who are
Can,
you? I don't
can
know
I
you.
see? Let me help you.
What?
Can I see your helmet?
No. This is my project.
I promise.
I'm working
I
on
promise
this.
to fix it for you.
No, you can't. What? Who are you?
Nick Fury sent me here.
Commander Fury sent you here?
Yes.
I'm making an intuition roll for him. Oh, well, okay, I guess. And he hands it over.
I kind of look at it, and then I'm going to morph it into what I think he's trying to create. Hopefully karma on this, because I don't want to go to jail because I fixed some guy's thing.
If you get that up to a yellow, yeah. And
Okay.
basically what he was trying to do was to kind of create a mechanism that would actually create like an energy shield over the front of it. And that's, as you approach, you could kind of see it flickering a little bit, so you kind of have the idea of what it was that he was going for. And with a few little adjustments, just with your hands, you're able to make the shield appear over the helmet. Oh my God! How did you do that?
It's all in the wrist, I'm afraid.
I've been working on that for a week. And he takes it back from you, and he kind of looks inside, and he's like, "Oh, okay, all right, I see. So if this component fits inside here," and then he kind of pulls on it a little bit, and the shield goes down. Oh, all right. So we were missing an XV wire here, and okay, all right, little extra solder. But you just did that with your hands?
Just the idea of you trying to explain something electronic is hilarious, but
It's space electronics. Come on.
and solder, yeah, solder. Um, but yes, what do you use?
Well, these, and he kind of pulls out, like his toolkit, and it's almost all like kind of plasma based for the most part.
Interesting. May I see those?
Yeah, I guess. And he hands those over to you.
What else do you think we need to create?
Well, come on, let me introduce you to some of the other guys. So, Fury sent you, huh? And then he kind of starts walking into the main lab, and then and kind of introduces you around, and you kind of become the center of attention for a little while. So as all of that's going on, and everybody's kind of starting to kind of get acclimated here, is there, since we're getting pretty close to time, is there anything in particular, any information that any of you want to find out from anybody here on the station?
I was going to talk to Hank about my dad.
Okay. All right.
Can I go to the...
Yeah, you can go to the lab.
Okay.
And you see him working.
That means I'm alone, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I have something later then.
Okay, all right.
I'll make this quick so you can get to it.
You see Hank working over a centrifuge and running some tests as you come in, and he says, "Lopes, right?"
Yes. Did you get enough blood?
Yes, yeah.
And I start...
No,
That's right.
it's okay. It's okay. I have plenty. Thank you. Um, I'm about halfway through the process at this point. What can I do for you?
Well, I don't want to interrupt any of what you're
No,
doing.
no, no. I can multitask.
So you knew my father.
Very much so, yes.
What was he like?
Um, brash, but a good leader. Um, when he set his mind to something, he could encourage the rest of us to follow.
I could see that.
He learned from the best. Did he tell you ever of a man named Xavier?
No, he never spoke of anything from this planet.
And the only time you ever heard that, since you kind of took over this character, he
Yeah.
said it once, and
Okay.
it was right before you left New Haven.
Okay. He mentioned him just once. It was right before we came here.
And then he also mentioned that more than likely Xavier was gone, that he would have died. Because he is the age that he is. He's 110,
Yeah.
and Xavier was quite a bit older than him. And if you say that to Hank, he's like, well, because we now know, or I have to say that you know, that your father is older than what we thought he should be. Xavier would only be 2 years older in this universe. But unfortunately, yes, Xavier was one of the ones that fell on Krakoa before the planet was destroyed. But this is just between you and I. The essence of Xavier is still out there, and perhaps you might be able to speak with him.
How?
Well, as I said, I have to be sure that you are who you say you are. And when that time comes, then hopefully where I send you, you'll be able to meet him. Your father's teacher.
Well, I'll leave you to your tests. I look forward to continuing this conversation when you have the results.
I do too. Lopes, it's a pleasure to meet you.
You as well, Hank. Thank you. I hope this isn't too personal, but I've noticed you're blue.
Part
Are
of my
you?
mutation.
We met another blue person. Yonder? Xanadu?
Oh, the Ravager ship, yes. Yeah, he has a reputation.
Any relation?
To me? Oh, no.
Oh. Just curious. I've not met blue people before.
Well, I would say that's a bit racist, but you probably don't know what that is.
What is this word?
It's not important. But just don't start calling people by their skin tones.
So we run the Smurfs and be like, "Hey, are you related to Beast?"
I'll leave you be.
Okay. Clag.
And I'm gonna wander off.
All right. What are you doing, Clag?
Is there? I doubt it, but would I be able to find some sort of gun or something somewhere, or one of the guards?
Yeah, there's guardsmen on every level, pretty much.
Gotcha. Can I want to? I'll grab one of the guards and ask him to come into the room.
What can I do for you?
This is gonna sound really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to shoot me.
Come again?
Well, first of all, how much damage does your gun do?
I guess it depends on what setting it's on.
Okay. Medium high?
Why?
I need to try something. Just out of game, I have, by my calculations, I need 5,260 karma to upgrade my reflection from remarkable to incredible.
Okay.
And I need to prove that I can do that.
You promise me I'm not going to regret this or get in trouble for this?
Well, I can't promise you're not going to get in trouble because it may reflect back in some sort of weird direction.
Oh, well, I'm totally not doing this then.
Well, did you have like a safe room or something? A training room?
Oh, jeez. What's in it for me?
My gratitude?
It's probably not really enough. No offense.
Well, I don't have much. I am a space vagabond from a planet that doesn't exist.
Now, you do have all those jewels and gemstones and gold and all that.
No, I don't.
I just thought maybe you forgot about that. Okay,
No,
so that's
I have
fine.
not
That's
forgot
fine.
about
all right,
that.
Okay.
Well, what do you...
I mean, I like that chain. Your Menriku, sorry.
Oh, no, not that one. How about, got this nice little amulet.
Hmm. Yeah.
Let's talk to snakes.
It lets me talk to snakes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll believe it when I see it, but it's pretty nice. If nothing else, I can give it to my wife. And he kind of opens up a panel on the armor and tucks it inside. All right,
Okay.
come on. He leads you to one of the training rooms that's lined with kind of a grayish metal, all metal panels, and it's kind of in a dome-like shape. He says if anything goes off in here, it'll bounce around before it dissipates. So I think we should probably be good. You really
Sounds
want
good.
me to shoot you?
Yeah, I really want you to shoot me.
All right. He turns a dial on the lance, points it at you, and fires. And it does remarkable damage.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Karma. Didn't need it.
All right.
So yeah, that will let's see. I reflect minus, well, I'll take it to the red so I can reflect all of it back somewhere. I won't reflect it
Not
back
at
at him.
right?
Yeah,
Okay. All
I
right.
won't reflect it back at him.
All right. So you take it, pew, 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 and it just kind of bounces off the panels until it just finally dissipates.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll just look at him and go, I guess that's good enough. Or do I need to take something that will give me at least incredible damage to prove that I can do it?
Probably so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Look at him. I go, got anything more powerful?
oh, I can crank it up to 11 if you want me to.
What was it set on there? What was it set on there?
5.
Oh, sure. Let's go 11. See what happens.
All right. And then that one does 50 points of damage.
Okay. Karma. And I can take that up to a yellow, so I absorb all but 3 column shifts of that.
3 column shifts?
Well, I reflect it back at a -3. What I reflect.
Okay.
Well, hold
Gotcha.
on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you reflect back. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, it works.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I'll just look at him and go, cool, thank you. And hope your wife likes the necklace. as I jangle the gems in my pocket as I walk out the door.
That's the weirdest thing I've done in like 2 weeks.
Oh, only 2 weeks? What did you do 2 weeks ago?
You don't want to know.
Oh, now I do.
And he tells you in secret. All right,
That's some
so
fucked up shit, man.
the rest of the time here, evening doesn't really exist because you're in the void of space. But sleep will come to you all. You go back to your quarters, get a good night's rest, and get up the next morning, and you're called back to the communications center. And everybody's there: Tony, Nick, Hank, Maria, everyone. And Hank says, well, the good news is you are indeed who you say you are. You are the children of the Blindfather, the children of Scott Summers. Nick and I have been up most of the night discussing you and your situation and the information that you've been so kind to share with us. And Nick, as I, feels that you must be here for a reason. You say you want to find your missing relatives, and that is your purpose. Correct?
Yes.
I knew Rachel and Nathan. Good kids, just like their mother and father. But that's what they are. You need to be prepared for this. You realize you're talking about your aunt and uncle, but your aunt and uncle are 17 and 12, if my math is correct at this point. Now, when Krakoa fell, they were some of the first to be led onto the escape pods. We know where they were headed, but they didn't reach that destination. Or I know where they were headed, but we lost them somewhere along the way. Many of the survivors of Krakoa found a place. A secret place, and one that we hope is not in the direct view of the all-seeing eye of doom. We've created, or they have created, a new Krakoa. We salvaged some seeds, much like the seed that your father gave you, and built a new home, a new utopia for some of our survivors. Others have been scattered across the universe. Not everyone ended up in the same place. And we are desperately trying to gather everyone. Some of our refugees are here, and they have chosen to stay here because they believe in our mission. But the mutants belong together. And this utopia, new Krakoa, is a good start, I think, for us. Something that reminds us of home. And that's where I would send you. And that's where you, Lopes, after the conversation you and I had last night, that's where you would find the essence of Xavier. He's not the same as what he was, but he's still powerful, and he still has means of tracking others of our kind. He goes by a different name now. Cerebro. You met Vision, our AI here on Sword and Shield. Cerebro, Xavier, is much like the Vision. One of our mutants had the ability to capture Xavier's essence when he fell, and he took it with him and rebuilt him on New Krakoa. I would send you there to seek him out, and he can impart his wisdom on you and hopefully point you in the direction of where you would find your young aunt and uncle, Nathan and Scott, or Nathan and Rachel. And Nick chimes in. It just so happens I've got a crew prepping for an outbound mission that happens to be heading in the right direction. And he taps on the comm link and he says, bring the captain in. And from the hallway over to your right, see a very regal and distinct individual walk into the room, bald head, wearing red and black. Says, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. The captain and his crew are getting ready to depart shortly, later on today. Top-notch crew, civilized, diplomatic, mostly. And Picard walks over to the group and he extends his hand to Lopes first. And he says, children of the infamous Cyclops. I've read his file, never had a chance to meet him myself. But from what I know of him, he was a good man. We would be honored to provide safe passage, though I must confess, our route includes a rather unexpected detour. And Fury chimes in. A place called Planet Noir. Industrial, crime-infested mess of a world. Rain never stops, crime never sleeps. Perfect place to get your throat cut over a pack of smokes. We lost contact with an agent there 6 months ago. Not unusual, but it's time we check in. Name's Logan. You'll know him when you see him. Scarred, grizzled, smells like old cigars and blood. Calls himself Old Man Logan now. He's good at vanishing and even better at finding people. But that's not the mission that I'm sending Picard and his crew on for Noir. That's your mission. And he pulls out a case that has badges inside it that look like the badges that you've seen on some of the other officers here within the Sword and Shield. He says, these make it official. Welcome to Sword and Shield.
Does it still have that fresh printed minted smell?
They do indeed.
Thank you.
Badges? We don't need your stinky badges.
If you're looking for some lost relatives, mutants especially, you're probably going to need a guy like Logan.
So do we work for you now?
Now you've been deputized.
You say this Logan disappears often?
It's kind of his MO.
So he chooses to.
He's also been deputized, but he kind of goes to the rhythm of his own drum.
Well, if this is what we need to do in order to find Rachel and Scott, or Nathan, I guess this is how we could repay the information that you've given us so far in the ride.
Well, you're not repaying us. I'm repaying you by giving you Logan. We'll discuss the terms of our arrangement once you guys make your way back here to the station. Might be a while, but I'll look forward to being in contact with you. Tell you what we will do, you do things right. We'll figure out a way to get you around without having to hitch a ride with the Enterprise all the time. But for now, Captain Picard's your captain. You go where he tells you to go, and then he'll get you to New Krakoa when it's time.
Anything we need to know about this Logan?
Yeah, don't piss him off.
We try not to, but people seem to take offense to people from New Haven.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you made a good impression here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be holding those badges.
Thank you. We're grateful.
Well, if you're ready, then, I'd like to introduce you to the rest of my crew. To the Enterprise. All right, well, for those of you watching out there in Twitch land and on YouTube, thank you for watching tonight. We appreciate you being here, and then we'll meet you back here in 2 weeks as we board the Starship Enterprise with Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
As we boldly go where no man has gone before.
All right, good night, everybody.